Hello everyone, welcome back to another MLB PI 2018 video. It is Shimp from the Shimp Place. It was popping. Hope you're having a good day. And today, we are going to be... This is part one of a two-part series where we are going to be talking about high-class cards that should be added to the game that currently are not in the game. This is as of January 20th, I believe, 2019. So it's very possible that these cards get added into the game later, perhaps as a second wave of high class cards. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, a high class card missing from this game is Archie Bradley. He may not have a lot of special edition cards in this game. However, he's honestly really good, as you can see in 2017. 73 innings pitched, 1.73 ERA. He also had some good numbers this season. The other player for the Arizona Diamondbacks, it should be a high-class card. This is just my opinion, to be honest. Okay, yes, bring up my emojis. Bring up my Bitmoji also. So JD Martinez is the other person I believe should have a high class card for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He currently has one for the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers. So maybe he wasn't on the Diamondbacks for the longest time. However, he had a very big impact on them in their 2017 postseason run. You see as a contract year card for the Diamondbacks. But yeah, he was just really good in a Diamondbacks uniform, and in my opinion, he should get a high class card. Moving on to the Atlanta Braves, we have Ronald Acuna Jr. It's not going to be very long until he does get a high class card, because he was Rookie of the Year, and he is just an all around beast. You see all his 2018 cards here. And in 2018, he hit 293 with 26 home runs. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'd be surprised if there was never a high-class Acuna card in the game. Second Braves player that should be in the game, if I can spell his name right. There it is. Nope, wrong Flaherty. So Eric O'Flaherty is a second Brave that should have a high-class card in this game. It's because he's been with the Braves a really long time. I mean, you see cards for him. So he looks like he was a Brave from 2009 to 2011. 2012 rather. That's 4 years. That's a pretty long time, in my opinion. That deserves an automatic high class card, but apparently Gameville disagrees with me. J.J. Hardy is a Baltimore Oriole, and he deserves a high class card. He's been with the Orioles a decent long time, 11 through 14. No, 11 through 16. So he was there for a really long time. His best years were in 11 through 14, looks like. But he has some really good hitting stats in this game. Moving on to a young star in the Baltimore Orioles that deserves a high class card, Trey Mancini. He doesn't have a lot of really good cards in this game, but in 2017, I believe he hit 280 with, we should be able to see here, yeah, 293 with 24 home runs. That's really good in my books. Very comparable to Ronald Acuna Jr. in his Rookie of the Year campaign. You see some live SC cards for him there. Moving on to the next team, the Boston Red Sox. We have one of the guys that led them to a postseason. David Price deserves a high class card. He was really good in the postseason for them. You know, he was a Red Sox from 16 till right now, so he's still a Boston Red Sox. He's really good. He has a good looking pitch mix. His cards have decent stats in this game. And yeah, in my opinion, he deserves a high class card. Second Boston Red Sox is none other than Rafael Devers. So Rafael Devers, he came up in 2017. He did pretty well. You see some live SC cards for him. He's a young, good third baseman right now in the game. Moving on to the Chicago Cubs, and we have Cole Hamels. So Cole Hamels, he's only been with them for half a season now. However, the Cubs did pick up his 2019 option, so he will be sticking with the Chicago Cubs. That pitch mix is really good, and he was practically lights out in the 8th month of the season. I forget what season that was, but he was absolutely lights out. No one could get a hit off him. You see, he had a .69 ERA in that month. He was dominant. And he's honestly just been really good for the Cubbies. And then another pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, Mike Montgomery, if I can spell his name right. Nope, that is not the right Montgomery. Montgomery. Mike Montgomery right there. He doesn't have a whole lot of cards in this game, as you can see, which is why I think he deserves a high class card. He's honestly just been more valuable for the Cubs than what this game says. He's been good in the bullpen. He's been good in the starting rotation. Not incredibly good, but he's a pretty decent starter for them. So moving on to the Chicago White Sox, we have Avisail Garcia, who recently signed a deal with the Tampa Bay Rays. However, he had a really good year for them in 2017, where he hit .330 with 18 home runs, and he did not do bad in 2018 either. Also, coming from the Chicago White Sox, we have Yoan Moncada, a rising star in this game. If I can spell his name right. Yoan Moncada right there. You see, he was our top prospect, I believe, a couple of years ago. So he's definitely going to become good for the White Sox. You see, he has a pretty good second baseman card there. Good contact, good speed, good fielding and throwing. So that's a really solid card, and I think he deserves a high-class card. So for the Cincinnati Reds, one of the two players I've chosen is Rafael Iglesias, who's honestly been one of the best relief pitchers / closers in the game since 2017. He really broke onto the scene. He has really impressed me personally. You see, he has a 28 saves there, 2.49 ERA. He's honestly been really good. His windup is absolutely devastating to face. Moving on from Iglesias, we have the Todd father, Todd Frazier. If I can pull his name up here. Todd Frazier. You see, he has a career high card. Played with them for 13, 14, and 15 before going to the White Sox for 2016. Really nice looking card. I believe he won a home run derby, if I'm not mistaken. He has really good power, and his stats are honestly really good. He's had good years with the Reds, as I have said. Yeah, home run derby in 2015 winner. Very nicely done, Todd Frazier. And now for the Cleveland Indians. In my opinion, an underrated starter, because when you think of the Cleveland Indians, you think of Trevor Bauer, Corey Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, but start learning Mike Clevenger's name. He is honestly a pretty good pitcher, 3.02 ERA, 200 innings pitched in 2018. That is pretty good in my books, and pretty underrated, to say the least. And he only has 3 good cards in the game, so why not give him a high-class card game? Well, why not? So then for Colorado, we have Herman Marquez. He has some pretty good cards in the game. He's a flamethrower. He pitches well in Coors Field, which is why he has these good cards, and his stats are honestly really good. Which means he's in favor of whatever algorithm Gameville uses to pick out special edition cards and their stats. which means he'd have a pretty good high class card. And then we have Troy Tulowitzki for the Colorado Rockies. He's played for them for a really long time. He's had some really good years with them, as you can see from all of his special edition cards here. Honestly, really good player. The Colorado Rockies have Trevor Story right now, who was an MVP candidate. But yeah, going on to Detroit, we have the 2016 AL Rookie of the Year winner, Michael Fulmer. He had a really good season in 2016, and has still had good years. However, they're not as good as his 2016 campaign, where he pitched with a 3.06 ERA with 159 innings pitched. Right-hander, not the greatest pitch mix except for this card right here. Yeah, he's honestly a pretty good pitcher. Pretty good. He goes well in a stacked Detroit rotation. Then also we have Austin Jackson for the Tigers. He played with them for a decent while. He played with them from 2010 to 13, looks like. That's 3 years, if I'm doing math correctly. That's pretty good. He has a career high card for them. Why not give him a high class card? Then for Houston, we have Lance McCullers Jr. Sure, his cards don't have the greatest pitch mixes. However, he's a pretty good pitcher in real life. His knuckle curve is absolutely devastating. Only played with them 2 years, but they've honestly been pretty good years. He just needs to stay healthy. And in my opinion, high class card. Then the other Astro is, he's a current free agent, Marwin Gonzalez. Right there. Played with them for 14 through 18, so he's been with the Astros for a while. Kind of broke onto the scene in 2017, being their I can play everywhere guy. Yeah, this is a really good card right here. He's been good in 2018. He was also good in 17, hitting 303 there. And now moving on to the next team, Kansas City, we have one of the people that made up their super bullpen, Greg Holland. So he has a world's best card there, but yeah, he needs a high class card, not for the Rockies, for the Royals, because he was just such a big part of their World Series championship team. Then we also have Jason Hamill. You saw, so he only played with them for 2 years, 18 and 17, I believe, I don't think he's still on the team. But he's been doing pretty decently well. He doesn't have a WAR card, but in my opinion, I've watched him play. I liked him with the Cubs. And yeah. So then moving on, LA Angels, former Padre Eric Ibar, if I can spell his name correctly. Okay. Eric Ibar. So he was a shortstop for them for about 2009 to 14. That is pretty good. Sure, maybe he never had, the best hittings, the best stats. He hit 290 this year. That's pretty good. To at 279 there. He never had a lot of home runs. However, he played with them for a while, and in my opinion, that dictates a high class card, as I have said many, many times. Now, another guy that came up with the Angels, Jared Weaver, who is actually retired from MLB, but he's still a good pitcher in the game. A little slow on the velocity side, but he had some really good years for them. Now, moving on, we have the LA Dodgers. As much as I hate the Dodgers, I love this kid, Walker Buehler. I think he's going to be a stud. Really good. His Pursuer's cards are expensive, kind of like Noah Syndergaard. But that's because he throws like Noah Syndergaard. He's going to have some good years for them in the future. Then we have a guy, and I guess you could say he kind of struggled with them, but it's Rich Hill. He's had some pretty good years, 2.12 ERA there. And he pitched in the postseason this year. He's had blister issues a whole lot. However, he's been with them for 3 years now. So, in my opinion, that's pretty good. And then, next team is the Miami Marlins. And we have Anibal Sanchez. Right there, or not. Anibal Sanchez. So he played with them for just 2 years. No, he's played with them for 3 years. No, just 2. But he has 2 WAR cards, 3.55 ERA there, almost 200 innings pitched. 3.67 ERA there, again almost 200 innings pitched. He's as I said before, he's been good. He has been good. And then we also have Anderson. I don't know what his first name is. Brian Anderson, I believe. Yep, Brian Anderson. Not a lot of power from this kid. However, he can do really well. And this month he hit 388, 0 dingers. Over the season, 273 with 11 home runs. I believe he's a young guy, so he'll be with them for a while. Alright, so that is going to wrap it up for part 1. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned in for tomorrow because I'm going to be going over the second half of the teams. So, yeah, be sure to tune in for tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out for now.